In our first training video for the Syndea Jama interface to Magic Draw SysML, we will demonstrate several features of the tool. We will first create and store a network connection to a Jama repository. Next, we will create a reference connection between a SysML block and a Jama requirement. Finally, we will transform a Jama requirement model into a SysML model with persistent connections between the individual elements in the two tools. In later videos in this set, we will demonstrate other features, including compare and sync across connections and visualization of the graph. As usual, we will start by launching MagicDraw, Cameo System Modeler 18.4 in this example, opening a project, a UAV demo model with no requirements initially, and launching Syndea. Creating a network connection to a Jama repository is exactly the same as we showed for the general case in video part 1.1. In the Repository tab, we click Add under Jama, assign a short name to the new network connection, then enter the URL, username, and password we have been assigned for Jama access by the repository administrator. The Add window will show a Connection Successful message at the bottom when the connection is made. In this case, we will use an existing linkage named Jama ICAX1. Our first demonstration will be to add a reference connection in the Connection Manager tab. In Syndea, any element in SysML can be connected to any element in Jama if they can be seen in this tab. We will select Reference in the central Connection Type column, then drag and drop the CUAV block in MagicDraw onto the CUV specification requirement in Jama. We can see the new connection created in the Connection Browser tab under the CUAV block. Using the connection we have just created, we can open the Jama web interface to this requirement directly from the CUAV block in MagicDraw. While we have this open, we will edit it and save the changes, as a requirements engineer might during project development. Returning to the connection browser in Syndea, we right-click the connection and choose Compare SysML and Target. In this case, Jama. The Comparison Result tab opens and shows red, indicating that there is a later version of the Jama requirement than we originally connected to from the SysML block. We can update the connection by right-clicking again and choosing Sync Target to SysML. That is, updating SysML from the Jama model. Now the comparison shows green because we have updated the connection to the latest Jama version. Our final demonstration in this video is probably the most common use case. We want to bring a hierarchy of requirements in Jama into the SysML model. In this case, it will be a multi-level CUAV specification in our Syndea test project sandbox component. We set the connection type to Model Transform and drag the CUAV specification requirement into the empty requirements package in the SysML model. After a few moments, we can see the new requirement structure created in SysML and the 17 new connections in the connection summary. Returning to Magic Draw, we can drag one of the new requirements into a diagram. We see that the new element has the additional applied stereotype Jama item and has brought over several attributes from the Jama repository, including ID, text, and others. We could have obtained a very similar result by dragging a Jama set, such as unmanned aerial vehicle requirements, into the top-level package in SysML. This would create a SysML package with the same name and containing the same SysML requirement structure connected to the Jama equivalent in the same way. In the following video, we will demonstrate the reverse process, from SysML to Jama, and the compare and sync features as applied to this type of connection.